Sorry, I apologize. I just realized my mic was off the whole time. Apologize for that. I came into the session rush to do the stream and I didn't notice the most important thing. Anyway, what I've been saying before, it was that the location uh, matters mostly rather than the session itself. So some people say, okay, I'm gonna trade only the New York session, the opening in 2 hours, which is agree. You know, um, it's quite important to have volatility in the market, but sometimes we see also in the London session has quite decent price action. And for me, like the location matters the most because I strongly believe that the market is gonna do what is gonna go to the targets that is meant to go. It just probably is gonna go maybe a bit slower. So for example, like here I was showing before that someone could take this back test on the previous day low because we see, I'm going to show you later, but um, during the overnight, there was a big failed breakdown on the previous day low, and we see here it broke violently, back test the previous VWAP DV low, again, acceptance at the previous day low, and then boom, it tapped into the zone, which was very important, which was the upper border of the range that I showed you before on the big picture. Now, what we see happening is price is trying to break the POC. It did a pullback to find some more buyers down here, and now it's trying to break the POC and the weekly previous VWAP. We see price how well it's responding to the previous weekly VWAPs and all these levels, CVA low. So we do know, we see now that the price is actually like flagging underneath this major key area. For me, the main trade someone could take was with the opening at the 9:30. I think it was here. This was a really nice trade to take someone. Either enter here, which is the VWAP, intraday VWAP, probably after the tap. If someone could see the selling attempt here, and then it could take the long. That would be risky because price could actually reject this area, which is the CV low and the intraday DV low. Or someone could just notice this one and say, okay, if we go inside this area, the CV low, I'm gonna put a long. And here until this area, which was very predictable, could take 30 points, about 20 to 30 points here to here. Now, anything that happens from now on, possibly someone could leave a runner just in case price taps into the DVA high or this POC. Probably will do, to be honest. So we see that the DVA high is almost at the same level as the previous DVA high, the intraday. So someone to take out his position here or his runner here would make totally sense. We see now how many sellers are absorbing now the buyers. We see now we're at the 15K and all these buyers now has been absorbed. So the market now is trying to push further the 15K cumulative delta and the POC is very aggressive. So it is very likely it's going to succeed. For now, what price is doing is just sitting all the limit orders starting here, but it's going to take time to hit all of them. So here now here is the POC actually, right here is the POC, and we can see how many sellers are hiding here, especially right here in this level, which is the POC of the 15th of May. And here is the weekly previous DVA VWAP, the previous weekly VWAP. And if we go lower, we see how many again buyers, limit orders, they're hiding at the weekly POC. We saw here that price actually broke above, and after it came back, it's retested. We see like how many buyers have entered in these locations. We see here how many buyers entered, and they put the stop loss right at the weekly POC. And after here, we also saw many buyers entering this area. We see after the retest of the weekly POC, weekly VPOC. Okay, we see price, the DV high is holding. We see now market is trying to break all the limit orders. As we see, it actually broke them. We broke all the limit orders now, and there's some more limit orders a little bit further. Here's the POC, this area. Now if we see the 10-second chart, we see how clearly the price action looks like. While if we look At 1 minute chart, all this looks very noisy, while we see here how clearly it shows all the pullbacks and everything. That's why I really like the 10-second charts, because you can manage also the your position very well, because if you see like exactly what price action, what price doing. You see the price, it could be sustained at the POC, just retracing now, but the intraday DV high still holds. We see now on the heat map, we see how there was a whole block of orders, limit orders, that price that the sellers took this liquidity, and now they're heading to take this liquidity. And after they do the sweep here, probably they're gonna try to break the pop again. To be honest, like today with in the New York session, except this nice trade, uh, there was nothing really happening, to be honest, because the poke holes, there's no expansion, it's just a big like accumulation. So it was like a big accumulation today, so there wasn't anything going on. So there were only basically one trade today. Someone or this scalp, if someone was willing to take it. This was a nice setup because the price uh, just broke below the CVA high, CVA low, sorry. Came at the VPOC, which has a nice confluence of the yearly plus 2 and the VWAP, retested it and came into the CVA low. That was a nice entry to take someone to take the scalp, 20 points above. Uh, but nothing else, to be honest. Uh, Now at this point, since there's nothing happening, I'm gonna explain you what trades I took. Uh, Today I closed really well. I closed about plus 7% on my account. I found some really nice opportunities. So I'm just gonna explain you now what was my process of thinking and what were my trades. So let's go on the big picture and see again. If I manage to bring it on. So for that, just Sierra charts. It's not at its best at the moment. There we go. Okay, so this is the 15-minute chart, which it helps me see the bigger picture. So we see, okay, so we see basically, just gonna do like this. Okay, so we see basically we had this low from the 12th of May. We had this low 12th of May. Price came up. We see that as I told you before, we had this range. Okay, we break out. This was the OPEX day, and we came back again. Okay, so after the opening, which was here, I saw the here about here somewhere was the previous DVA low from the intraday VWAP, and I saw it rejecting. So I suspected that we may see some kind of uh, fair breakdown on this low. So this happened on this here, did a fair breakdown on this low, price backtested. Then we see the OPEX day here, which chopped it around this important level, the 74.50s. And now what we saw was basically, as I said, somewhere about here, if I show you on the other chart, was uh, the intraday previous DVA low. So I'm going to show you now. So that's about here. If we see, sorry. So if we see here, I'm going to take you back. So last night So let's take it from the beginning. So from last night, we saw this area, which is this area here, which is right here. We saw price rejecting the previous DVA low. So what was meant to be was meant to go rejected. And then I was suspecting that it's gonna test this low, that is gonna test this low right here. We see this low. And actually, for that reason, the 73.98 was a key area to watch. So we saw price coming back testing this area, and it did a failed breakdown to the 73.77. So from there were two options. Either we're gonna see price coming lower and make a failed breakdown, liquidity sweep on this low, or price would come out of this range, especially this range, and this one as well, do some confirmation, try to sell, and not be able to sell, and then we would see price coming and test this key area, as I said, because it's the 2 days range high. So as I saw price coming down and taking the lows, I was watching in case we're gonna have some kind of liquidity sweep to this low. Okay, if we see now what I did take the when I took the order, I'm just gonna show you. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna show you on the 1 minute chart. So when I entered, I put my first entry. I was watching the here about here. So about here was the previous low, as I said before, from 2 days ago. So I was watching reaction to this area in case we have liquidity sweep. So what I saw, when I saw price coming down, taking the liquidity, doing the liquidity sweep, and then price holding the 73.90s really well. We see how all the wicks are in the same place, which seems like maybe stop orders were here, trying to push the price higher. That's when I heard when that's when I put my first my first position about 1%. Uh, when I saw a price coming down again in this way, this slow grinding way, I realized that the price might actually fail, and we may see price going lower and test this area with this block. So to avoid the big drawdowns, I closed my trade about here, I think, or let it know, maybe it was about here. And then I realized probably it's best to show you on the on my actual. I'll show you. Okay, so if we go back, so that's 1 minute, and if we do this on the 5 minute probably, So as we saw before, price got rejected on the CVA from the previous DVA low and came all the way down as we saw. Here is the, let's see, okay. So we see, I took the first, sorry. Uh, so we see, I took the first entry right here. That's when, yeah, I took the first entry a bit early, to be honest, when I saw some kind of acceptance, and we saw the price coming out. So that's the 15th of May. So let's go here. Okay, here we are. So we came down. This is the rejection. And here we see, uh, yeah, here we are. Yeah, that's what I want to show you before. So we came price came down. It did here about here. This level is a previous low, the important like level. So we did the liquidity sweep right here. And then when I saw all these stop orders holding the price, I decided to take a long. Then as I saw that didn't have any continuation to the highs, and I saw the gradings lower, I thought that might be, price go way lower. So I decided to close my trade. I saved some money. I didn't want to. My stop was here, so I preserved some capital. So I closed my trade a bit earlier. Then I saw again price reclaiming. I added another long because I wasn't sure that there wasn't much time passed by, so I can see, building a base or anything. I was just reading the price action, and I didn't have any high time frame because Sierra chart was turned off at that moment. Uh, so as we see, I take a long here, which I hold the overnight. So this is the Asia session. So during the Asia session, price does nothing, but it gives us valuable information because we see it actually does a big consolidation, builds a big base at the bottom, which actually holds. Here is the monthly VWAP. Here's the monthly VWAP. So I held the price during the Asia session, during the overnight, anticipating a move to the higher. It didn't go anywhere, but when it saw breaking, if you remember, this is the CVA low we saw before. So when I saw price coming down twice and testing this area here, this area, and reclaiming it, I entered another long. I decided not to take my profits right here. I decided not to take my profits right here because here we had a structure. We had a massive structure which broke out, and I didn't take my profits here, even though I should, to be honest, because I saw the VWAP, the monthly VWAP, and I saw the price action. I was anticipating for the price to move even higher. Uh, so what happens when we have a big consolidation? We have a structure. So what happens is, so here let's say is the upper part of the consolidation, accumulation high. This is accumulation low. Okay, price comes to test the accumulation high, the breakout point. So we see price entering or exiting the second time we tested the breaking out point and held, I entered another long. But because price, I was anticipating to go, the structure was really big, so I was anticipating to have a bigger move. I didn't close my trade, so I was expecting price to retest again that area and hold it. What I did here was probably a mistake because as we said, market is not perfect. So in theory, I would anticipate market to hold this level, which is the accumulation high. But as market dived into it, into the structure, I decided to close my trade with a small loss, about 1.5%. I take some losses because I figure out that since we are entering inside the range, the accumulation, we're going to try to test the accumulation low, which was even lower. So for that reason, I decided to close my trade here to protect my capital with a small loss. Then after we saw price coming out again, retesting here, and the thing about here was also the VWAP. Since we reclaimed the VWAP and the VWAP held here, I took a long. I added a bit higher. This one was more like a momentum trade. It was impulsive. Uh, it's not a correct entry, to be honest. But when we saw price pulling back here and reclaiming again, I think that was when it tested the DVA high, I think. I entered again, anticipating a bigger move, as I said. So basically, I had some really good entries right here at the failed breakdown at the liquidity sweep of the overnight, but I took my entries a bit prematurely in order to protect my capital, which is the right thing to do. And then I decided, okay, let's take a small loss. If we see, price coming out, I'm gonna enter again. And what I did, I entered when it broke the structure here. Here, that was a wrong trade. Here was, I think, was the monthly VPOC. I entered because I thought we were reclaiming the monthly VPOC, so price would go straight, boom, boom, pano here. But what price did is actually, here was the monthly VPOC. What price did was reclaim the VPOC, but came into it again, and then decided to, at this point, to go higher, and this is when I entered another position. And I took everything about just before the monthly VPOC. This is the 74.45 because it's a CFD. So the real price here is 74.45. It's just below the upper range of the upper part of the previous range because we back tested it. So that's why I decided to close my position and I didn't want to risk it any further. And this is what we saw later happening. Price with the opening came back to test this area. This is the long that I would take. This is the CVA low. So this is the CVA low, like we showed you before. So price doing that again, tapping into the same area again, and now that's the rejection we saw before to go into the VWAP. It was overall a nice trade, I would say. Uh, but because I got off a bit earlier than I should, that's because I got my original entries. They were here. Imagine my original entries. They were here. Imagine. So I would take, instead of entering here, which has an average price of, you see, 73.94, I would add a 20 points earlier, about here. But that's okay. Now we see here what I was meaning before. We see here, this is the, so we see here, this is the accumulation high, this is the accumulation low, okay, during the edge session. And this is why I took the trades, because I saw price coming with force into the structure. I took my trades prematurely because what I needed to see in order to close my position, I need to see something like this. So I need to see some kind of backtest to this accumulation high before I close my trades. But I closed them a bit early, that I shouldn't. Because what price did and what price always does is we have a structure, price breaks out, and it will most certainly will come to test it again. If it holds, like we did in this occasion, we're going to see price wrapping up again, which actually did. So I would say, okay, premature exit here, nice entries here, which held overnight, premature exit here, and left money on the table, but that was to protect my capital. Nice entry at the pullback, at the rejection and the pullback. Here at the breakout of the structure. This one was impulsive trade. I added because it was the monthly VPOC right about here, and I thought that it would hold. And that was also a night addition right at the bullback. Again, it held a nice exit when I saw where the 75.50s here at the back test of this very important key zone. So we back testing it and price coming down. I just decided to close my trades on my position. Decent entry, decent trade. Uh, but we all make mistakes, so we learn from them. And that was actually my trade for today. I hope I helped you see the market the way I see it. It's not always the best way, but it's my view anyway. So we see now what market is doing, what it did before. The price couldn't break this key area. It tapped into once, twice, almost three times, and now price is collapsing down, trying to find more liquidity at these lows probably. Anyway, that was my trade recap and my trading for the day. Apologize for the microphone that I turned it on 40 minutes into the stream. I haven't done a stream for quite a while, so I just need to remember the basics, I guess. Uh, anyway, have a nice day, and I'll see you tomorrow on about the same time, maybe 1:30 New York time until 3:30 New York. Sorry, 11 New York time, 11:30 New York time. Anyway, have a nice day, and see you tomorrow.